Let me see what we're working with here. It appears you have a bit of a background in big game hunting. Perfect. We'll be certain to put those skills to good use. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Says here you started out as a bouncer for a pretty rough establishment. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. I also see that you mined on Vectera. It appears you spent several years as a bounty hunter. That type of background will get you quite far around here. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Seems like you have a bit of a background as a chef. That's an interesting vocation to have abandoned. One poor review too many, perhaps? I also see that you mined on Vectera. It appears you spent some time as a combat medic. Good to know that you can take care of yourself under fire. I also see that you mined on Vectera. It appears that you have a background in cyber running. Perfect. Information gathering is one of our top priorities around here. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Looks like you spent some time as a Cyberneticist. I bet you have quite the analytical head on your shoulders. Good. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Says here you spent some time as a diplomat. That isn't quite what we do around here, but still, having a way with words might prove useful. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Seems you fancied yourself a bit of an explorer in the past. That lines up with where you are now. I also see that you mined on Vectera. We have a lot to discuss. If you knew the drill, you'd keep your mouth shut. Now, let's see what we're working with here. I'm impressed. You have quite the criminal history. That will definitely fall in line with our needs. It appears you have a bit of a background as a homesteader. Good. Your self-sufficiency will certainly prove useful. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Looks like you spent several years dabbling in industry and finance. It's a far cry from where you are now. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Seems like you have a bit of a background in deep space hauling. I'm sure we can put that to good use. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Looks like you spent your younger years undergoing quite an extensive pilgrimage. I hope you found what you are looking for. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Looks like you spent some time as a professor. Having that sort of educational aptitude makes you an ideal candidate for our operation. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Your background seems to indicate you are a notorious sword for hire. Well, perhaps we can put that to good use. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Seems you spent quite a few years as a sculptor. It's quite a long way from an artist to a criminal, wouldn't you say? I also see that you mined on Vectera. Says here that you spent several years as a soldier. That means you understand how to respect the chain of command. Good. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Seems you had a bit of a reckless past. Always fancied yourself as a wild one, eh? We can work with that. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Looks like you spent some time dabbling in Xenobiology. It's pretty far from what we deal with around here, but you'll fall in line. I also see that you mined on Vectera. Pretty unremarkable past. Not much to speak of there. I also see that you mined on Vectera, and now you're with Constellation.